Hi, my name's Jay McGrail. Welcome to WSDH Live, Sandwich's community radio station, 91.5. I'm a member of the Sandwich School Committee, and I have this podcast to highlight some of the great things that we do in Sandwich. And with me today in studio, I have 4 students from STEM Academy all the way up to incoming seniors. Hard to believe, saying that.
Crazy, yeah.
Seniors have left the building, so you guys are, in all intents and purposes, the seniors. And yeah, that makes you a freshman.
Yes, next year I will be.
So that makes you, if they're seniors, then you're freshmen too.
Yep.
All right, so I think I'd like to start. What we're going to talk about today is strategic planning and that process. Not a lot of people probably are familiar with that yet. We are in the process of completing a 5-year strategic plan for the Sandwich Public School System. We could talk a little bit about that. And then we'll jump into just a few minutes on senior class projects, something both of you guys have spent some time thinking about and already probably are starting to work on. At this point in time. So why don't we start with just going around the room, introduce yourself, what grade you're in, and just tell me one thing quickly that you like about SHS and our building here. Right?
Okay, I'm Jack Burgess. I'm currently in 8th grade at the STEM Academy. Next year I will be a freshman. I haven't really got to experience the true feel of SHS because I'm not in it currently, but I really like the openness to all the staff is very open to talk to.
I'm Nina Sundermeyer. I'm a freshman, and what I like most about SHS is the extracurriculars and how there's something for everyone no matter what you like to do.
Okay, great.
I'm Molly McFarland. I'm currently a rising senior at Sandwich High School. It's hard to believe, but I really like the warm community and, of course, the Blue Night Pride.
I'm Anna Marty. I'm a junior, also going to be a senior next year, and my favorite part of Sandwich High School is also the sense of community and school pride that everyone has. It's really exciting to be a part of the school.
Yeah, that's great. Well, those are all good things about this building, some of the things we try to highlight. So, you know, we've when you're talking about the different activities that you have, we had the paranormal club in here before, so there's literally something for everybody here if there's a paranormal club.
Mm-hmm.
So is Sue your mom?
Yes.
All right, great. Yeah, she was on the school committee for a number of years.
Yeah.
Before I was, but that's exciting. Nice to have you here. So I think we'll start by talking about the strategic plan process a little. So for the listeners and people that are watching at home, obviously you guys are familiar with it because you've been involved, but when we brought Dr. Gould in to Sandwich here, one of the things that we talked about with her during her interview process, kind of one of the mandates that we gave her when we hired her, was that we were very interested as a school committee in coming up with a 5-year strategic plan that would guide everything we do in the district. You know, everything from capital projects to how we communicate with the public to how we manage, you know, cultural activities in not just the building but in the community. And it was something we were really excited about. Unfortunately for us, Dr. Gould was on board. She had had the experience doing strategic plans in other districts and had actually the great foresight to be able to bring a facilitator in here that was a friend of hers that helped us with the process, Nancy Maloney. She, I think, did a great job.
Yeah, she was awesome.
You
She
guys
was
are,
really
we were
good.
talking about that before we went on air. So as part of the strategic plan, we put together, I'm going to say, what, 30, 35, 40 people, something like that? Would you
Yeah,
guys
there's
say?
About-
a good amount
A
of
good
people.
35 or 40 people that were a true cross representation of our town, not just our school district. It was people that had nothing to do with the schools, that were just residents of the town, business owners, local politicians, teachers, department heads, faculty, students, parents, PTA moms. We had the gamut of pretty much everybody, I think, in that room, which kind of gave it a good cross representation. The first meeting we had, it was clear we needed more students, so we brought some more of you guys on board. Because how can we have a strategic plan if we don't have your voice in that room as part of it? You know, as the kids that are in this building every day. So what we did, and then I'll turn it over to you guys to talk about how your role in it was. We ran through the first couple of meetings, came up with a mission statement, come up with a bunch of indicators of things that we thought needed to be addressed in the district, and then we broke up into subgroups that were each one of those indicators was the lead mission of each of the subgroups. And you guys were each on a different subgroup, or you guys were on the same one?
Yes, we were on the same one.
So I was thinking maybe what we could do is we could go around and you could tell, even if you guys separately each give a little opinion on what you took from that subgroup and what the mission of that subgroup was. That would be great. And then from there we can talk about where we're going next with the strategic plan. You want to go first?
Well, I was on the culture group. I think that culture really represented presented how Sandwich presents themselves to other communities and other school districts. In the group, we focused on a lot what the staff thought of the school, what students thought of the school, and what parents and community members thought of the school. And how many of the things that we talked about was branching out into the community as a school and students. So I thought that was really interesting to see how we could do that and the intentions that we wanted to put forth into the future. I thought it was really great.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I had the opportunity to be in that subgroup with
Yes.
you, and I think we have some great plans moving forward.
I agree.
I don't want to let all the cat out of the bag.
No, yeah.
You know, we have a lot more to come over the next month or so here, but
Mhm.
it was a good opportunity.
It
I think
really
we have a lot to do in that department to try to get, I think the main goal that we had as a group in the cultural subgroup was to let, how can the Sandwich Public Schools best be represented to the whole community?
Mhm.
You know, to everybody that is a resident of Sandwich, you know, and we have some good ideas, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great experience in that culture group.
You want to go?
I was in the communication subgroup, and our main focus was communication between teachers and students, and like faculty and teachers inside of the school, and also public relations, trying to get kids to stay in Sandwich, and like get involved with the school, like even if you're not a student or a parent, just to get involved with the school system. So we had some ideas regarding like websites and like emails sent out about like what's going on. We wanted to get more publicity surrounding like sports events and like Sandwich Soul and stuff like that. That just like shows like school spirit, and also making sure that teachers and students were all using the same platform, because a lot of like some teachers use Google Classroom, others use like Schoology or Evernote or other things like that. So we wanted to make it all on one platform.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome members of our community that can help a lot with that. I'm sure you guys discussed, you know, reaching out to the community to help with that sort of thing. Obviously, Sandwich Community TV and Nick, our producer here, and shows like this are a big part of that.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about was getting Sandwich TV involved a lot more with the school.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we have a good direction to go with that.
Yeah.
So, what about you guys? Can you
Well,
say a
we
little
were
bit?
we were both on the Health and Wellness Committee, and two of the main issues that were addressed were obviously the problem with drugs and alcohol, and then also the issue of traffic safety.
Traffic
And
safety is a big one.
yeah, and a main focus of it was really not just within Sandwich High School, but also broadening the view towards kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, all the way to 12th grade, and making sure that everyone's safe.
I can see that as like,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, this building's chaotic with traffic safety, but Forestdale and Oak Ridge really are
Yeah,
too.
we had
Yeah.
talked about the light at Forestdale. I believe the town owns that light, so we talked about maybe making like an arrow
Yeah.
at that light,
Mhm.
so to try and minimize some of the traffic that occurs there during like pickup time with buses and stuff, which was good. And we also talked about like unifying a health curriculum, and like Molly said, like bringing that down to the like lower ages. And we talked about we wanted to utilize this and make podcasts about wellness and have the kids do it, and like about like drug and alcohol safety, because we thought like it might reach more of the community if the kids are actually talking about it themselves, and
Yeah.
this is a good way to spread it. The problem that we had was like getting people to actually listen to it and getting people to actually attend meetings, and so that's one of the things we're still trying to tackle, but
Yeah.
we have some good ideas for
Well,
it.
it's a
so I
5-year
think-
plan, right?
Right, so
Takes time.
And
yeah.
I'm sure you guys put together, just like we did in the cultural
Mhm.
part, like a timeline of
Yeah.
what will happen in year 1, what will happen in year 2. Yeah, well, so this is just 3 of the subgroups that we have. I can't remember exactly how many we had, but
I believe it was
Was it-
6.
6.
I think so.
we had
No one
6.
remembers all 6 of them, do they? It's like a
One of
pop
them
quiz
was
here.
infrastructure,
Yeah, I was on that one
Infrastructure.
too. Capital
I'm both there.
infrastructure, yeah.
and teaching and learning.
Oh,
Teaching and
maybe there were
learning.
only 5, possibly.
Teaching.
Well,
was 5 or 6.
if people want more information on the strategic plan, which I'm sure they're all dying to get after watching our podcast, here, this subgroup, I mean, this not subgroup, but the whole committee that we're on is going to present publicly to the school committee at a school committee meeting in, I think, either the next meeting in June or in early July. So that's exciting. That'll be our opportunity as a school committee to formally accept the plan as the Sandwich Public Schools strategic plan, and then then the fun part starts. We gotta start rolling it out, you know. Well, I think you guys did an awesome job. It was so, I mean, having you on the cultural part, it wouldn't have been possible without you guys. I'm sure it was the same on the groups that you were on, because it's easy for us like to sit back and be like, oh, this is what we should do. You know, this is how we should handle everything. It's different when you have students that are actually living it on a day-to-day basis, kind of tell us what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, you know. So thank you for stepping up and playing your role and leading our district.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
it was
no
definitely a cool
problem.
experience.
So next, I just wanted to touch real quick on the senior project. I know that's a big one for us. You guys have a few more years before you have to start worrying about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But you guys don't.
Yeah.
You know, so what we did, we rolled out last year that for incoming seniors this year, for you guys will be the first class, it's a mandated senior project to graduate. You know, it's kind of a big deal. There's a bunch of other districts that are doing it.
Yeah.
I think it's I work in the town of Hingham, they do something similar, and I think honestly, it may seem daunting to you guys right now and like a big challenge, but I think you'll grow from it. It will be a good experience.
I went to Barrington, Rhode Island 2 years in a row to watch the senior projects there, and
Yeah.
I think that having that experience and like seeing actual kids like present their projects and stuff made it less daunting for me and actually like more like exciting. Like I'm actually kind of
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I also went to Barrington, not this year, but the year before, and it was just awesome to see because you could either do, you know, career exploration, even just something you want to learn how to do, like some girl learned how to play guitar. You can really do whatever you want. That's what
Yeah, I
think is
remember
the best
someone did
part.
like historical fencing, like something
Yeah.
that you wouldn't even think about, but it was
Historical
the coolest thing
fencing?
ever,
Yeah.
and he was super passionate about it, so it was cool.
So have you guys thought about what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do adaptive dance, I think, which is, I dance all the time, 7 days a week. Like it's basically what I do every day outside of school, and I want to take that and make it applicable to people with different disabilities. So right now, I work with my dance teacher with a group of adults called the Esprit Players who have like a different range of abilities. And then I have a club that I started here at Sandwich High School with the transition development team here, and so that's like kids our age with different abilities. And then I'm also doing a training course over the summer at Boston Ballet to teach me a little bit more about adaptive dance and the best way to approach teaching dance to people who might not have like the same capabilities as like the kids that I teach at my dance studio. So I don't know, I think that it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's
So,
definitely gonna be exciting. I think that's the best part of your senior project, is you can pick something that's passionate to you,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that you're really into, and it's
So
been
it
a lot
really
of time
shouldn't be a
taken to do
haunting
it.
process.
Yeah.
Like writing a paper, it's about something you're passionate about.
I'm
So.
sure the people
Yeah.
that wait till the end here will.
Yeah.
So you guys, so
They
have
might
you thought about
disagree.
it yet?
I have, yeah. I've kind of chosen the passion and career exploration route. So I'm working with an independent marketing consultant, which is
Nice.
kind of the route I'd like to take in college and beyond. And
Marketing?
yes,
Nice.
and I'm working with her to develop communication strategy plans for nonprofit organizations.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
And these nonprofits are linked mostly to athletics.
Really?
So one of them is an organization that provides outreach for the youth of Boston. They can't necessarily buy their own equipment or join their own sports team.
Well, that's
So
exciting.
that's really exciting for me because
Yeah.
I'm obviously very passionate about sports.
I'm involved in a 501c3 charitable organization up on the South Shore. It's a special needs athletic partnership, and it's something. Google it, because it's a
I
similar.
will, definitely.
That's the type of stuff they're working on. I was actually at a fundraiser last week, and they're looking at that marketing piece to it, like putting together documentaries on what they're doing that they can use as fundraising. So it's really cool. There's a lot of growth in that right now. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
exciting. So how does this work? Real quick before we end. So you guys roll, you lay out now what you want to do, come up with your plan, you start working with your advisors, and then there's a presentation piece to it right at the end?
Yeah,
You want to
so
speak to that real quick?
So basically, we turned in our letters of intent in March, and that's basically like what we want to do and what our plan is and who our mentor is. And so then we had to contact our mentors, and we have to do 15 hours of field work with them or under their guidance, then they sign off on it. And then you have to write a research paper that has a link to your project in some way. So if you were doing, like there was one I think we saw at Barrington that was on photography, and the person wrote about a famous photographer and then did photography as their field work. And then at the very end you put it into a presentation, so that's going to be, I think next April is when we're presenting them. And so you basically, you can put it on any like media you want, but a lot of people did like Google Slides, and so they put their thesis statement up, and then they'd have different pictures and videos of the field work and just kind of explain what they learned, what their learning stretch was, and the overall experience.
That's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
You know, think of where you'll be now. Actually, at this point in time next year, you'll already have graduated.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Crazy.
believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be there. I hope we have a nice day.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you coming in today. I
Thank
think
you.
we,
Yeah,
you know,
thanks
Yeah,
hopefully,
thanks for having me.
hopefully the community learned a bit about our strategic planning process and about our senior project. So this is Jay McGrail signing off for WSDH Live 91.5 Sandwiches Community Radio Station. Thank you for listening.
WSDH Live is recorded at WSDH Studios in Sandwich, Massachusetts. We are executive produced by Paula Johnson with podcast production by Ryan Hill. He also made the music. Remember to check out WSDH on TuneIn.com and the TuneIn app for more great content. As always, thank you for supporting Sandwich Community Radio. We'll catch you next time.